out and shit.
Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the light. Can in the world. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Happy Black Friday, post-Thanksgiving, turkey, pumpkin pie, cranberry sauce hangover day. So, hope everyone is doing well this morning. Good morning, Fred. Fred and I were talking before the show on Facebook. I just saw they had a message request there from a couple days ago. He's already in the hot water for Black Friday because, that fishing equipment comes fast, it comes furious, and hopefully the wife lets him out of husband jail here soon.
I was gonna say, I sincerely hope, Fred, that your Black Friday shopping goes a hell of a lot better than the Thanksgiving Day game went for you.
Well, if you notice behind me, the cases are empty because I have new lights coming in today for my black. That's the cool thing about Amazon. Like they started Black Friday like a week ago. Because they're like, if they lower the price within 30 days, you get the lowered price.
Yep.
So like, why are we waiting till Friday? Like, we'll just start early. So I ordered new lights for the dot lofts, and I got new lights for one of the 8-foot cases coming today. So hopefully, I'll be doing some light work before the Bears game here. Hopefully they get here before then, so I can have it set up before the Bears game.
What time's the Bears game today?
2:00 Central.
Okay, so 3.
Yeah, let me just double check. I believe it's 2:00 Central.
Yeah, I thought it had a weird time.
Yeah. I mean, thank God they're not like the Black Friday sales at 5:00 in the morning, right? Yeah. 2 p.m. My wife was going to go to Lowe's today, get the free bucket. Well, it's like 10 o'clock, so I think she missed that one. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Dan.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
So, 3 really good games yesterday, man.
I watched 1.5 because about partially through that Cowboys game, somebody had a hell of a buzz on and stopped paying attention to the game. And by the time that third game came on, I was fucking out. Hey, I had way too much of a good early Thanksgiving to not fucking celebrate. Because holy shit, did Green Bay put it on the Lions? What happened to all this? Wait till Thanksgiving. Well, we waited till Thanksgiving. We didn't get a different outcome.
You know what? The Lions, their season's been interesting. They started a year kind of like that. Week 1, dude, it was just complete miscommunication by them all together. Then they get it together, right? Week 2.
Why, happy Victory Friday there, A-Dub.
Week 2, they kind of get right against Chicago, who we were having our own issues figuring things out. And then the Lions put it together. They were good for a couple weeks. You're like, okay, this is the old Lions again. Like, these guys are going to be good, like seriously good. And they looked like one of the best teams in the NFL for a couple weeks. And then they had then they kind of had some. I mean, you look at the Ravens game. Granted, the Ravens weren't like at the strength they are at now, or even were when the Bears played them, but they put it on them pretty hard. And they sacked Lamar like a truckload of times. You're like, okay, the Lions are going to be good. And then like the last couple of weeks, it's like the Lions pulled out the gun, said, let me start shooting toes off the foot, and I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, okay, God, St. Brown got hurt again because he was already hurt coming into the game. But and Frank the Tank is unretiring, so I guess he'll be back next week or the week after. But I mean, they are just not in a good place team-wise. I'm sure JB will have a good breakdown, and in his show later today, but they just don't seem to be in the right place. And Parsons, for you guys, like for most of the game, he was kind of quiet, but then at the end of the game, it's like, hello, let me end the game. He just
Oh no, he wasn't quiet during the game.
2.5 sacks, the two big sacks were at the end of the game.
He had 4 QB hits, 8 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss.
QB hits, whatever. I don't. QB still got rid of the ball. I mean, I'm just talking about like the sack is what impacts, right? At the end of the game, that killed the Lions any chance of doing anything. So I mean, Micah Parsons had a great game for you guys. But I'm saying, like, at the end of the game, when they really need to be on Micah, not let him get to the quarterback, they let him get to the quarterback. They did a pretty good job for most of the game, keeping it relatively okay. Yeah, he'll get a quarterback hit after he throws the ball, whatever. Goff still gets the ball away. But, like, when you needed Goff to make a pass, nope, sorry, Micah put him on his ass already. So I don't know what's up with the Lions, man. I don't want to say they're disintegrating because I don't think they are, but they're definitely having issues up there.
You know who they miss? Oh, go ahead, Ken.
Well, not only did you have all that with the Lions, but we got you a live look at when the game's on the line, the Lions players. For all that shit they talk about us dropping passes, they sure dropped enough of them themselves.
Yep. Hey, and they missed someone named Ben Johnson.
Oh,
yeah,
calling the
maybe.
plays. Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
I don't think that the Lions played that bad. Like I think it was a good football game. Every time the thing for me, like what I noticed in the game, like was that every time the Lions would score and bring it to like within a field goal, the Packers would go out and answer right away. Yeah. Like they did a good job of like staying on top, and like I thought it was a really well contested game. I thought Jameson Williams played really well. Gibbs, I mean, everybody was contributing, Tesla, Montgomery, they all had their little share of plays, The defense, I thought the Lions secondary made some good plays, but Parsons made some good plays, obviously.
They gave up some big chunk plays, the Lions did, though. Like, you're right. After they would score, Green Bay would come back, and how would Green Bay get back? Big chunk plays. That was what killed the Lions. Like, the Lions would have to, like, drive to get scores for the most part, right? But not Green Bay, man. They just got chunk plays, big chunk plays on that secondary.
Oh, yeah. Like, who the hell is Ted Kennedy?
We had in this, Devontae Wicks's more reassurance to show that he actually does have hands this year. Those couple of drops he had in those bad games that we have were an indicative saying that his drop problem was coming back. And I think we can finally say Christian Watson is Green Bay's number 1 receiver.
Oh, no. Ken, we don't have any wide receivers, remember?
I
know the narrative.
Isaac, I mean, like Golden didn't even play, so you've got those two. I mean, you've got Dobbs, who's an okay receiver. I mean, I think Dobbs, is not a 1. He's probably a solid 2-3. I don't know if I'd make Christian your number 1 yet. I wouldn't anoint him that. He had a pretty good game, made a nice little catch there.
Well, a lot of this has to come off of last year before he got injured. I'm tying them together of how he did.
Yeah, I mean, like if he can sustain it, I could see him being a low end 1. I don't think he's a high end 1 yet, but I mean, he's always had the thing that's been frustrating for you guys as Packer fans, probably more than anything, is like Watson. You could always see the potential; it was just never fulfilled. Like you saw the very first play of his very first game with Aaron throwing them the ball wide open against the Vikings, and he dropped it, and that's where the frustration began. And you're like, okay, well, look, it's only his first. I mean, he was nervous, first game, whatever. And then like he's had flashes, like, okay, yeah, this guy's gonna be it, and then he's like, oh, he's hurt.
the
Oh,
huge
he's got the drops again.
You know
Oh,
what
wait,
team-
he's really good.
the-
Oh, he's hurt.
the huge improvement in his game came from last year when he started going out and attacking the ball and catching it with his hands instead of letting it come to him. And thank you, JB. It was a damn good game, and that's not
Good
just because
game.
we won. You played good too.
So
You
then,
know-
we get the second game yesterday, which Joe is happy about. I'm happy about. In fact, probably the entire NFL except for Kansas City fans are happy about. And this is a game that no one in America wanted anyone to win, right? Because so many people hate the Cowboys, so many people hate the Chiefs. They're like, can they both lose? But look at the Cowboys for a second week in a row come out and beat a good, what people say is a good team. Now, is Kansas City a good team, or are they living off the past? I don't know, but look at Kansas City's on the outside looking in for the playoffs.
Chiefs are fucked. I don't think they're gonna make it. You know what I mean?
Nor do
Chiefs
I.
are like
I don't think
they're
they're gonna
not
make
a
it
good
either.
team. You know what I mean? They really aren't. Like first of all, if you look at their O line, Mahomes is running a lot more, scrambling out the pocket a lot more. You know what I mean? Like losing, maybe losing Thuney, you know what I mean, to you guys, to the Bears, and losing a couple of the linemen that they had that, kept their Super Bowl dreams intact is gone. So like Mahomes is buying time with his legs more. It's
So
like
Isaac,
it's
are
not
you
good
saying the
football about it.
Bears? Are you saying that the Bears are killing teams by taking people away from them, like Ben Johnson, Tooney? I mean, I can roll with that. That works.
I mean, look at the record. The record speaks for itself. I mean, like you look at the Chiefs and there's times where they show flashes where like they're one of the contending champions type of thing. But like there's times where you just see the Chiefs are just lost. You know what I mean? They're forcing Mahomes to become more of a scramble pocket quarterback, which he is by nature, but not all game. And that's what you're seeing a lot lately. And that's not going to be. I mean, I think the Chiefs are really, really. There's a real big chance that they miss the playoffs this year.
Maybe, but I do think they're wasting what might be the best individual performance year for Patrick Mahomes so far. Like he's played, like you look at the last couple years, he's thrown a lot of picks, and he's kind of like, they've been able to rely on that offense, and that defense, and like they cover up for him in some ways. But this year, it's like he's the one who's actually, I think, outperforming his team, and they're kind of letting him down. Like I think they finally have run out of answers for like who can we plug and play and still win Super Bowls. Like they're gonna have to go out and reload, man.
Well, and the thing with the Cowboys, like look at like Dallas, they've had a good offense all year, whether it was Lamb, Pickens, whatever. I mean, now they're both in and playing healthy. I mean, they're at that point of the season, they're clicking like they should be, right? But that Cowboys offense was never the issue. It was the defense. The addition of Quentin Williams to Eberflus's defense has made a huge impact. And then the linebacker they added too.
Logan Wilson,
which they basically added because they dropped a linebacker. So hey, we need to go pick one up, but he's worked too. They already had a couple guys on that defense. They just needed some pieces, and it looks like that defense is starting to play better.
Oh, Pickens is having a monster year.
Dallas might be one of those teams that they get in the playoffs. You don't want to see them.
You know what, Ken? I was literally just thinking that this morning after seeing the end score of that game, that they seem to be catching fire. And if they happen to be able to beat the Lions coming up here this next week, the Cowboys might actually be a real bastard to have to contend with.
We're going to have a good discussion about Lions, Cowgirls coming up this next week, because that defense is much improved than what the Bears saw and what the Packers saw. Right?
And let's think about it like this: Frank Ragnow, you know what I mean, which is a big upgrade for the Lions. Giving him back. Yeah. But they're saying he's starting. His possible first game is against Dallas, and that's against Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams.
Yeah,
That's not good.
that's what I'm saying. Like this Micah Parsons trade is looking like it's going to work out for Dallas, man. Especially with getting Q, and they got draft picks still. I mean, it looks like that's working out it's working out for them. So I mean, hey, we all made fun of Jerry when he made the trade, but it's actually looking like it's going to work out for Jerry pretty well in a lot of ways. It was a good game. I mean, look, I still don't have faith in Dak. That Dak is still going to find a way to throw a bad interception come playoff time.
Oh, okay. You're talking about once playoffs start.
Yeah, I mean, but they, and look, they're still going to have to face their division, which right now, Washington's like whatever. Philly will be a good game. New York will be a good game.
They've already played Philly twice. They beat Philly the second time. Yeah, they just beat them 2 weeks ago.
That's right. They're one.
And they almost won that first game if it wasn't CD fucking breaking out the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I forgot they're one of the oddballs that get both. Get some of these games knocked out early, where the rest of us have to wait till the later in the season. I mean, but dude, they played a good game. I mean, they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt. Look at if they beat Detroit next week, that playoff picture gets really interesting in the NFC.
Especially for Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially Detroit's on the outside looking in right now.
Wait a minute, Joe. Didn't you say at the beginning of this year that the Detroit Lions might miss the playoffs?
Look,
I did say that.
And you said they might be the worst team in the division, and they are right now, 1-3 in the division.
I still wouldn't put them below the Vikings.
Look,
Vikings beat them.
Here's a weird thought. Like regardless of the outcome of a game we're going to talk about here in a little bit of today, if the Bears win or lose today, as far as in the division, not much of a difference, right? It's a half game between the Bears and the Packers. Mm-hmm. If the Bears win, it's a game and a half. If the Bears lose, we go a half game behind. But here was what I was thinking last night. It was kind of a weird thought. It's like, last year we sent the top two teams were the Vikings and the Lions. This year it could be completely flipped, where it's gonna be Bears Packers.
And that's sure what it seems like it looked like it did.
I mean, obviously there's still some big games in the division yet to play, but like if the Lions lose next week, they're going to be freaking out up there because they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in legit trouble of missing the playoffs. Where for them, Week 18 against the Bears may be win and get in, or win and go, or lose and go home. They're facing that reality depending on the tie breaks and everything else that happens, because all that's got to get factored in by those mathematician brainiacs out there. But I mean, they're in danger. And Dallas, they're putting themselves in position where, like, if they win this week, now they own the tie break against Detroit, which we think about, you guys tied them, so they don't own a tie break head to head. We beat them, so we have the tie break on them. This is that part of the season where those things start to make a difference. And that's the other, and that's the other
pitch.
And that's the other that's the other problem with Kansas City, is they've lost some big tiebreak games. Even if they get back into it where they're record-wise, they could get there, but they lost out on tie breaks with other teams in the hunt. So for the Kansas City dropping that game yesterday in Dallas was massive.
Yeah. Hey, was Dan Campbell calling the plays for the Lions yesterday?
Yeah.
So I think we can at least say that his play calling is getting a little better, because I thought he called a pretty good offensive game, dude. Like he was getting J-Mo out there. He got J-Mo involved, and then he got Tesla involved. He got Montgomery involved.
He adjusted.
I don't know though. He's had some vanilla runs lately, and he's 0-7 now in fourth down conversions. Which remember when Ben Johnson used to complete those with ease when he was with their OC.
I don't know, dude. I disagreed with, like, there was one where they were down in the red zone. It was a 4th and 3, and Dan Campbell went for it, and I was like, sometimes you just got to take the points, man.
Yeah.
The meme still holds true with Dan Campbell on The Price is Right with 95 on it. I'd like to spin again.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Ben Johnson effect. They said, "Oh, we won't miss Ben." Bullshit. They're missing Ben.
They're missing Ben big time.
It's big time obvious. And in the last game yesterday, which might be the shocker, Joe Burrow returns.
Yeah.
And
he
they
played his
came
ass
into a team that's been a buzzsaw since they played the Bears and got healthy. And for the most part, they were still healthy. And Joe Burrow came out and beat them yesterday. And
Did
you know
you
what's
guys?
funny
Oh,
is
good.
Cincinnati with that win is not out of the playoff picture
Did
because
you
of
guys?
that
Did you guys?
division.
Did you guys see Lamar Jackson's stats like the last several games? It's worse than almost JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, it's bad. His last 3
Bad.
games, 0
Yeah.
touchdowns, like
Mhm.
3 picks, 2 lost fumbles.
Well,
Yeah.
yesterday, I mean, the
Holy shit! I'm
Ravens
gonna
in
have to go back
general,
and look at his stats.
the yesterday in general, like every
I'll
time
send
the
it to you,
Ravens
Ken.
were doing anything, it was turnover central. 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers in
5
that game
turnovers,
yesterday,
dude.
and
5
some of them, like
turnovers.
in the red zone. You're like, holy crap!
Oh,
Like the Ravens should have won that game. They lost that game not because of Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. They lost that game because their offense couldn't protect the football. Plain and simple. They're a better team than Cincinnati yesterday. They were the better team. They were driving at will. They were making big plays. Their defense was coming up with big stops. And then, okay, cool, let's go shoot ourselves in the foot. I mean, every time. I mean, that's the reason Cincy wins that game. It wasn't that Joe Burrow, threw the cover off the ball. I mean, he did really well.
It is
But,
funny.
I mean, dude,
And
Joe
Baltimore.
Burrow played pretty good too. I mean, let's give it to him.
Yeah.
Like,
especially being
well,
out
it's
most of the
funny.
year.
dude,
It's-
that dime he threw to
Yeah,
Jamar Chase down the sideline,
Oh.
that was
Okay, great. Yeah, okay.
That was
Look,
special.
great. He threw some nice balls. Every quarterback does. But the point was, they did not win that game because Joe Burrow came back. They did not win that game because of something Joe Burrow did. They won that game because Baltimore couldn't keep their hands on the football. Because without those turnovers, Cincinnati loses that game yesterday. Yesterday for Baltimore, what's got to be frustrating for Ravens fans is yesterday was a self-inflicted gunshot wound because they had control of that game, and that defense was limiting Burrow's brilliance. Because I mean, Burrow is brilliant. I'm not going to try and take anything away from him, but they were limiting his brilliance. But the problem is, you keep giving him the ball on turnovers, on drives, and changing momentum like that. Eventually, he's going to burn you, and he did.
Yeah,
But
the
I
first
mean-
quarter looked ugly because like Burrow, was getting scrambled out the pocket again. It kept showing rearing its ugly head again that Burrow has no O line. You know what I mean? Like it's just running out, and then all of a sudden, Burrow just started catching on fire slowly and slowly as the game progresses. Burrow becomes better and better and better.
You give him
It's
more
like, man.
opportunity, he's going to get you. And look at Cincy. There were people down the game. Well, look, Cincy defense. Like, what was the problem with Cincy's defense? It wasn't Cincy's defense. Actually, they called a really good game. Probably the best game they've called all year. It wasn't though that Cincy was doing a lot of great things on defense. The thing was is that Baltimore couldn't hold on to the damn football. I mean, doing the peanut punches. Everyone does the peanut punches. They were really effective for them yesterday. If I can guarantee you, Harbaugh has Baltimore doing ball protection drills all week.
Oh, yeah.
You think you got the mini buy? No. We're going to be on Saturday morning doing ball protection drills.
I like how I like after the game on the interview they put the mink coat over Joe Burrow for the icy Joe to come out.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, and we we were saying like, oh, Burrow might have a little rust on him, after not playing. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta fully admit I was 100% wrong there because I figured it would take him some time to come on, but he looked good. He didn't look like Joe Burrow,
and no T. Higgins
but
too.
he looked damn good.
Yeah, no T. Higgins. I mean, Joe looked good. I mean, they got a chance to still be in that division if they can put a run together. They got they got the schedule kind of favors them in a weird way. Like, okay, now I get it. My best thing though, like you're saying, Joe, why come back? And we were all like, Joe, like, why are you coming back? That season's done, right? Especially if they lost. If they lost yesterday, season was probably done. But Joe, I love his response when they asked him that in the interview. He's like, we get paid an insanely huge amount of money to play a kids game. And I love to play this game. So of course I'm coming back. I mean, because people are like, man, why don't you not play and get fully healthy for next year? He's like, because I get paid a stupid amount of money to play a kids game and I love to play this game. I really don't care what people say. I was like, I love that about Joe Burrow. He's just like, and he's so honest about it because, like, most guys who try to be like, well, if we win and we'll have the chance of the playoffs. Joe is straight simple. I get paid a stupid amount of money to play a kid's game, and I just love to play.
You know what's funny?
If the
Okay.
Bengals can go on a run, like if they can, right? I mean, it's kind of a long shot because they got to win out, but just to be 9-8 and even have a shot at the playoffs,
They
right?
just got to win the division. Which
Well,
is
yeah.
completely
People
possible.
forget with a healthy Joe Burrow, he's a top 5 quarterback in this league, hands down.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking he's like top 2. I think I rank him personally under. Oh yeah, maybe even.
I put him at 1. If he is fully
Yeah.
healthy, I think Joe Burrow's
Yeah.
the best quarterback right now.
I was gonna say, like he gets a lot. We've talked about it before. I actually see a lot of Joe Montana in him. The only difference is he doesn't have the freaking all-star team surrounding him that Joe Montana did in the 80s. Like Joe Burrow is Joe Montana without the rest of the 49ers. Like he might have Jerry Rice and Jamar Chase, right? But he doesn't have Charles Haley and Dion, or not Dion. He doesn't have Charles Haley and John Taylor and Roger Craig.
This way, the Bengals are now 4-8. The Steelers, who are in first place in that division, are 6-5.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll catch up.
That's what I'm saying. The Ravens are now 6-6. Now look at the Steelers and the Browns both have to play this week. Let me see who the Steelers play.
Joe, it's not about like really the talent around Burrow. It's the O-line. If you gave Joe Burrow even an average O-line, he can make that work to perfection.
So the Steelers got the Bills. They could totally lose that game this week. And by the way, we can't really count out the Browns yet because the Browns are just a game behind. I mean, the Browns with only 2 wins. Now look at they're playing the Niners, so they'll probably end up losing that game.
The Shador show.
I'm going to assume. So the Browns may be out of it, but look at the Steelers lose this week, right? If the Steelers lose this week, this whole thing is so up in the air for them where they can get into this. Man, they're like right there. And then if you look at their schedule, let me pull up their schedule. Oh, crap. Hold on.
How about Strahan saying, "Oh, he gave the vote of confidence. Oh yeah, Myles Garrett's gonna smash my record easily."
Yeah. But then you look at the Bengals. Look at their schedule. They get the Bills next week, tough one. Then they get the Ravens again. Then the Dolphins, they can win that one. Then the Cardinals, they can win that one. Then the Browns. I mean, they're not out of this thing for the division.
They're going to have to fight for it, but they're not out of it.
Fight for it, but they're not. So they've got yesterday gave them hope that they maybe didn't have before. I mean, but Joe looked good. But the bigger story for me is the Ravens and their lack of being able to hold on to the football. This is going to be a much different game when they play them. They're doing that 2 and 3 like the Bears and Packers are about to do. With our next runs after our game today. I mean, dude, that next Ravens game is going to be much different. Like they are probably doing ball protection drills for 2 weeks straight because without those drops, and a couple of them in the red zone too, man. And Lamar had a bad pick or two, but the fumbles is what really killed them because they were like in the zone.
As long as Burrow and Chase are healthy, they can beat any team, and they've proven that because they've taken that team all the way to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, they can beat any team as long as their defense doesn't give up as many points or more. Because look at Joe Burrow leads the league in scoring 30+ points and losing games.
And also, who owns Mahomes? Oh, that would be Joe Burrow.
But see, that's what I was saying. That whole thing to say this, like, if the Bengals can go on this run, that means Joe Burrow got really hot. And the Bengals got hot. They're not a team that you want to play in that playoff in the playoffs, dude. If they pull this off, they're going to be the most dangerous team in that AFC.
The Bengals and the Cowboys, the way the Cowboys have been the last 2 weeks, could be two of those teams that you don't want to be the 2 seed and have to face them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
And think about it yesterday. They did it. I mean, they went off on an offensive barrage yesterday without T. Higgins. Imagine what T. Higgins.
Isaac, what was T. Higgins' injury?
Oh, yep.
What was it?
Oh, actually, I totally forgot what it was.
Now, Coming up at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. on the East, we have another big game today. And look at the schedule makers. For all the crap we give about bad Thursday night football games, bad Monday night football games, look at this Thanksgiving weekend slate they gave us for these primetime games for yesterday and today. Magnificent job. We looked at the beginning of the year and we thought, okay, well, Kansas City, Dallas, probably won't be much. We always know Lion, any divisional game in the North is going to be fun, regardless how good or bad the teams are, because they're always going to be close. But then we look at Baltimore, Cincy, okay, that could be good. But then at the beginning of the year, some of these games didn't look like they'd be good. Like the Dallas game with KC was like, Look at last night's game was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Especially when Burrow got out early in the year, ended up being good. Well, now you have 2 8-3 teams going today. No one had the Bears 8-3. Everyone figured the Eagles would be right around where they are. They're kind of where we thought they would be, but no one had the Bears at 8-3. Maybe not even Adam Rank, I don't think, had the Bears at 8-3 at this point. Right?
I was going to say Adam Rank. Come on, he had them going.
No, he had us winning 11.
He had them at 11-0.
Yeah, right. But I mean, dude, today's game and the big news for the Bears is we're getting. Well, they're marked as questionable, but Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are coming back. The big news about Chicago, though, no TJ Edwards, no Ruben Hippolyte, no Noah Sewell. So guess what? Those practice squad linebackers we played last week, yeah, they're playing this week. But
practice squad, I thought those guys were hot dog vendors that Ben Johnson said, hey, can you play some linebacker?
So Monangai is playing, Homer's back, Theo Benedict's back at left tackle, Gervin Dexter Sr. is back, Jalen Johnson's back, Kyler Gordon's back. For them, they're missing Xavier Gibson, and they're missing Miles Hinton and Lane Johnson. So
they're
tackles.
Who else they're missing?
Who?
Saquon Barkley. Where the hell has he been?
No, he's playing.
Yeah, I know he's playing, but where the hell has he been?
Well, look,
That's the question.
This is the thing with the backup linebacking core we've got, and like since the break, since the bye week, the Bears have been really good against running backs. Where we've been bad is mobile quarterbacks. So like today's a good day for Hurts to run. Like I don't think Saquon won't hurt the Bears per se running as much as Hurts will. That's where the Bears' issue against the run has been. Look at the other good news for the Bears is Montez Sweat in the last couple of games is averaging 2 sacks a game. He's come on ever since Booker took over for Dio. He's played better for whatever reason. The linebacking core is the question for the Bears today. Offense, there's no question. Secondary getting healthy, great. No Tyreek Stevenson though today, so that's going to be interesting. You get one back, you lose the other. For the Eagles, their offense, it's like, where's it been all year? Their defense has been really good. And this will be a great matchup against the number 2 offense in the league against like number 2, 3 defense in the league. It's going to be it's not going to be a double-digit game for anyone. Sorry, Josh. You can keep smoking the crack pipe later, but it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, how the Eagles beat us and beat the Lions was defense. It had nothing to do with their offense.
Oh yeah,
I'm anxious to see. I want to see Devontae Smith and AJ Brown how they do against those corners. Like, with can Hurts get them the ball? Like to me, that's going to be like,
That's I think the huge thing is can Hurts actually get the ball?
But
there?
that's what I said. Like to me that's an intriguing matchup in this game. And the other intriguing matchup in this game for me is how does the Chicago interior offensive line handle Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter together, dude? Like, are they going to be able to get that interior pressure on Caleb? Like,
this will be the biggest. I think this against a defense is one of the bigger tests. I mean, look at New York has a good front, right? The front 4 is good. I don't know whose fronts. I think maybe the Eagles' front might be a little better than New York's front. Brian Burns got schooled against the Bears, man. Like he got put on his ass more than a few times. So it's going to be a good test because this is probably the best rated offense that Philly's faced so far this year. And
the other guy you got to worry about is Nakobe Dean. Like ever since he's been back, he's been making plays left and right. And then, of course, you got to set the edge and make sure Jalen Phillips can't wreck the game for you. Jalen Phillips has been monstrous since he's been on the Eagles.
This Bears offense is the number 2 rated offense in the league right now. It's the first time the Bears have been rated this high since the 70s. Their offensive line's top 3. So this is the best offensive line that we've seen the Eagles play against in coming weeks. And they just came off a big loss to the Cowboys, which I still don't know how the Cowboys did that to them. But their problem is going to be, even if they can slow the Bears offense down a little bit, their offense needs to produce. And their offense hasn't been producing.
Remember, the Giants even beat the Eagles.
Josh, put Josh back up there real quick. Josh, who's 8-3 right now and who's not? Shut the fuck up and sit down. Give some respect to the team above you for once in your life. I get it. You're a Packers fan. You're incapable of it. But be capable. This is going to be a close game. The Bears, I'm going to take the Bears, obviously, because I'm going to homer out and take my team. But the Bears aren't going to win by 14 or 21. The Eagles aren't going to win by 14 or 21. This is going to be a close game.
That just goes to show you like how crazy division games are.
Damn,
Like,
Ken, he said put your money where your mouth is.
Well, first off, I don't bet on sports, period. Actually, I don't bet. But Josh, you talk that shit and watch me come and beat your ass next week.
Damn.
Good
luck with
that.
I get pissed off to a point because I'll give Packer fans their due and I'll give Packers their due. Packer fans seem incapable of giving the Bears their credit. Josh wants to get all season. Josh has been dogging the Bears. Dude, we're 8-3. We're in first place in the division. Okay, you beat Detroit yesterday. I gave you your props, and you're like, "Oh, the Bears are gonna get blown out." Fuck off.
It's not all Packer fans though, because Ken and Isaac have been saying like, hey,
yeah.
Like,
No, but
they're giving you your
these
props.
guys in the chat.
I was singing you guys praises.
To a point, it's like you just gotta eventually get off the crack pipe and give a little credit where credit's due, man.
Hey, I wanted to say this before we started on the Bears because I knew we were going to talk about this game for a minute, but you know who I feel the worst for is Isaiah Likely, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
he broke that fucking hold. He caught that ball that no one shouldn't have caught, broke it off, and then fuck, dude, just get it across the goal line, bro.
I mean, but that was look at that. That was the key for Cincy was the turnovers, and that's the other key for the Bears today. The Bears in games where they're plus on the turnovers are undefeated.
Yeah.
Right. So like for if you're Philly today, you don't want turnovers. And like with that secondary, with Jalen Johnson being back, Tyreek's out fine. You get one back, you lose another. But then with Gordon being back, I mean, if the Bears can force Hurts to throw the ball poorly and get some turnovers. You know what I mean? I mean that's going to be a huge thing.
I get what you're saying, Ken. It's just Hurts he's not a prolific quarterback, but he's very efficient.
Well,
I think you'll make your bread and butter is causing fumbles.
Yeah, whether it be, I mean, that's the turnover game is going to be the deciding factor of this game. The Bears, who are by the way, Josh, number 1 in the league in generating turnovers as well. So, for being overrated, and same to you, Barry. The number 1 team in the NFL at generating turnovers is playing today in a couple hours. If they can generate turnovers today, then that's going to be – I don't care how good the defense is for Philly. You're eventually going to wear that defense down if you keep getting turnovers on their offense and making them go back on the field and defend all day. Eventually, an offense will beat a defense if you keep them on the field long enough. And, oh, by the way, this isn't the Packers. This isn't the Lions. This is the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL that has weapons galore at running back, wide receiver, tight end. And, oh, by the way, they're all healthy, so no injury issues. The offensive line is all healthy. No injury concerns. Number 2 ranked offensive line in the NFL. Now, I'm not trying to diss the Lions or the Packers as I say this. These are just what the numbers are right now. So it's a different game for Philly. And if the Bears are getting turnovers and keep that defense on the field, even if Philly's defense has success early in the game at containing the Bears offense, by the end of the game, you're going to wear them down, and then the Bears offense is going to be able to capitalize and win the game.
What you got to do with Jalen Hurts is play contain. You know what I mean? Just contain him in the pocket. Like, don't let him do those scrambles. That's where he hurts teams. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you just keep remember that Matt Patricia umbrella technique where he had basically from the linebackers, defensive ends, all doing basically an umbrella shape, and that's how they basically beat the Packers one day. And the Rams used that same strategy in the playoffs, and it worked. It's
I
basically
think there's something that we talked about last week that comes to mind though. As you say that with keeping them contained. We talked last week about how important the nickel corner is to the Bears, the Packers, and the Lions. Kyler Gordon might be one of the best nickel corners in the league, right? You can tell a huge, massive difference when he plays versus when he doesn't in Chicago. He's back today. I think his job is Hurts. His job is Hurts. Like, that's your containment guy. And if he's not in, then C.J. Gardner-Johnson's in.
One thing that worked too in the Packers Lions game yesterday was a safety blitz. Like we had McKinney and Evan Williams both blitz and both got home and did tackles for a loss or a sack. You know what I mean? So like if you can kind of run those against Jalen Hurts, but then again, do not overcommit. Because if you overcommit and miss that tackle, Jalen Hurts has all day in all field.
And that's the beauty of it. Yeah. That's the beauty of it too, though, Isaac. With the safety blitz, like you can run Byard up there on a safety blitz, but you can also pull off the corner and bring Brisker up, in a blitz. So, and with our with the Bear, I mean, look at Dennis Allen is going to have to call a good defensive game today for the Bears for sure. And this can't be the Bears defense that lets off in the fourth quarter like it's done the last couple games. Like they got to have a solid game today.
Well, we're mighty proud of you, Fred. Glad you could keep it contained and not have to kill it.
I'm telling you, man, he told me he did some Black Friday shopping on fishing gear, and the wife might be coming for his head. So,
hey, can you pull up that comment? Somebody said my name.
He's trying to take a dig at me. He said, "Hey, Joe, Ken thinks his Bears are back. His dad's going to be sad next 2 games."
Hey,
Josh.
Can you pull up the Eagles secondary rankings this season? Because one thing I wanted to say, another intriguing matchup about this game, because the Eagles defense overall is good, but their secondary, from what I've seen, seems to be pretty good. And I mean, they got Cooper DeJean and
Quinyon Mitchell.
I like Cooper DeJean though. He's dope, dude. But I just want to see if their secondary is like the weakness on their defense, or if it's like a real strength, you know.
It's about the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's about middle of the pack.
Yeah,
look,
yardage.
Cooper's good, but he doesn't have the speed. Quinyon Mitchell has the speed.
Yeah.
So where Cooper's good is he's opportunistic in the sense that front four creates bad throws and he happens to be there. I mean, that's the best way to put it. He has a sense of where to be on the field with that defense, and when that defense creates bad throws, he just happens to be sitting there waiting for it. And happy Thanksgiving. We have a broski bear.
Oh.
What's up there, broski?
Gentlemen, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same to you. And hey, hope you're doing okay there in enemy territory this morning.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well, man. I just I'm at my parents' house, so I just helped the old man set up Christmas lights in the yard. So we were just outside in the freezing cold wind doing that. And
that sounds fun.
But yeah, I mean, I have polar bear in my DNA, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, man, I wanted to share. I wasn't sure if you guys were aware that DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift were childhood friends since they were like 7, 8 years old. They played together in the same youth football team here in North Philly. So
there we go.
So they're Philly kids, man. They grew up in I want to say Mount Airy, which they call the upper ghettos.
Upper ghettos.
Yeah, man. North Philly kids coming back to Philly. I bet you Monanga, I believe he is from Jersey, so he might have some family at the game too. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? The thing too is C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Who did he play for last year?
Eagles.
Do you think that maybe the Bears got a little scouting report from him on this defense today too? It's granted it's changed some, but a lot of it, player tendency stuff like that, that's intel. I mean,
it is.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Like the NFL schedule makers got it right this year. This is a good game today. Yesterday were good games.
I'm seeing reports heating up too that Justin Jefferson may ask for a trade in the offseason.
Mhm.
seen
I've
that
been hearing it myself.
We've been hearing that for a couple of weeks, and to be honest with you, I mean, I kind of get it, for him. But man, like you haven't been a diva your entire career like that. Why start now? Because like even like you look at him and the stuff he does in the community, you're like, wow, and when he was on receivers, like Justin Jefferson's a grounded guy. He was like a superstar. Like this guy is grounded, like Joe Burrow grounded. Like I go back to Joe Burrow yesterday. I get paid a stupid amount of money to play a kids game. I'm playing. All right, JJ, what's changing? Why are you now becoming Devontae?
Yeah, but the thing is, look, if you're Justin Jefferson, you look at like maybe like might be another team or another sport, but you look at Mike Trout on the Angels, thinking one of the best players in the baseball league, and he's hampered by a team that can't make the playoffs, can't do nothing, can't get there. Vikings are kind of trending down that line. Yeah, they made the playoffs a couple times, but like, what have they done? You know what I mean?
And Justin Jefferson seems like he's been a good sport, a good teammate.
Yeah.
Like he's been supportive of JJ in the offseason and everything. I got to give that guy credit, but I think he probably looks at it like how most of us look at it, like organizational, just misguided judgment. Like, okay, and even if you understand, like, okay, maybe Darnold does choke in big moments, maybe Daniel Jones really wasn't proven at the time. You still had Aaron Rodgers hanging out for 3 months waiting for the Vikings to sign him. That never happened. So from Justin Jefferson's perspective, it's like really we're in win now mode, and you think dropping in a first-year starter coming off major injury who's not known as a passing quarterback, who's not known as a passer, we're going to drop him in and expect to win a Super Bowl or go deep in the playoffs?
Hold on. Well, hold on. I mean, let's hold on because we're assuming that JJ is saying this, and Luke is like, no, man, it's not coming from JJ. This is coming from people around him. It's like Rome's dad talking.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
wins last year, again, probably one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
So like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sit here and confirm like rumors that he is.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of saying, like, from his perspective, I can understand how he might be possibly looking at it. You know what I mean? That's all.
I agree with Brokey.
If it's even him looking at it that way, he might not look at it that way at all. He might be like the consummate team guy we all think he kind of is. And this is just people around him who are thinking that, like what Broski's saying, because it's kind of like Rome's dad talking. Well, Rome's not happy. Bullshit. Rome was fine. You're not happy because you're not seeing your son get the ball enough. I mean, it could be the same thing where some of JJ's people might be speaking out of turn. Because like everything you've seen from JJ, he's not that guy. He's super supportive of his teammates. Yeah. And look, their season isn't just because JJ's having a bad or not so great first year as a starter. There's other issues that poke their heads up with that team, like the lack of an offensive line.
Yeah, but there's the possibility that people around JJ are saying these things and he's not. There's also the possibility, because people have done it before, where they leak things through their friends.
Yeah,
and they get their friends to say what they don't want to come out and say.
This is all an off-season thing.
And from that perspective, I look at it like I kind of agree with Broski on that. Like I could see where Justin Jefferson would start to question the front office on some of the decisions that they made in the last year, like not keeping Darnold and putting JJ in there. And now it's like you go from 14 wins to, you're not even going to make the playoffs. Like
this whole thing with JJ, I mean, we know they're not in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, because they're not in the playoffs, we're going to start hearing some of this stuff now. But this is all like, honestly, like we're 4 or 5 weeks away from anything even becoming. It's obviously not going anywhere right now. I mean,
here's one thing though that hurts JJ's argument though.
I could care less about who wants out of Minnesota right now, compared to what the Bears and the Packers and Lions are doing. Like to me, the Vikings, JJ wants out. The Vikings want, JJ wants out of Minnesota crap is just a distraction from what the rest of the North is doing.
I know, but like, look, this. I mean, even if JJ came out and said this, right? There's something that counters his point, though. Didn't Minnesota spend a gang of money this offseason to fucking upgrade the roster?
They did. They brought in like Will Fries, which Broski and I were like, "Why'd you do that?" They brought in some offensive linemen that didn't
Ryan
pan
Kelly.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in some guys that didn't pan out, and I get it because, like, all teams do it. You bring
Right.
you
But
bring
like my
guys
point,
in, some
my
pan
point I
out.
tried to make though is that you can see the front office is trying, even
Yeah,
if
they're
those guys
trying.
didn't pan out. They're
Right.
trying. They're trying
They're
to put
trying.
pieces around the team,
Yeah.
and
Sure. But just
Yeah.
the most important, decision in this process was the quarterback one, and
yeah,
they just blew it on that one.
Well, I mean, and JJ, like, couldn't stay healthy. Him not being able to stay healthy did not help. Because he should be further along in his progression, but missing all the games he missed injury did not help. I mean, look at some of the stuff he's going through is expected, except now we're getting it a little bit later in the season. He's still going through some of the stuff because he missed so many games in the early part. So, yeah, exactly, Barry. Vikings aren't in playoff contention. They can still play some spoiler. They can play some spoilers still. They can still come out and they can. Don't they get? They still got a game against Detroit, right?
and they beat Detroit.
And then they have a game. Are they done with? Wait, they're done with you guys, right or no?
No, they
No.
are the last game of the year.
Yeah, so I mean, they could still play spoiler. They could play that role, and they're fully capable. Especially if they get some guys back on defense, they have a good enough defense, and their offense is capable or has pieces where they can play spoiler still. So they're not out of the conversation, but they're not even the main thrust of the conversation right now. It's the other three teams, and it's the Lions now. And I forgot who made the comment earlier, but now the Lions, for them, is got to be uncomfortable because they don't control their own destiny right now. They need they need Bears and Packers to lose games.
And
Yeah, they
Bears
need
and
help.
Packers control their own destinies.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you guys this too, if you don't mind. Like, and this is not like a pro Packers thing for me. This is more of like what I've been saying to Lions fans. When you have a window, you go get a player to put you over the top. You do it. Packers went and traded for Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Like, he's an elite player. He's a difference maker. While Hutch is a very good player, did they definitely overpay for him to keep him? Absolutely. Is he an excellent player? Sure. He's made about 2 plays in the last 4 games, though, guys, and he was invisible yesterday. So there is a difference between a Hutch and a Parsons.
Could you imagine where the Packers would be without Micah Parsons right now?
Oh man, but then again, when we had Parsons in even like limited capacity, Halfley had that defense humming. You know what I mean? Like it just there's other players that are making.
Look,
like Devontae Wyatt.
Without Parsons,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Packers
without Parsons,
aren't even in the conversation right now. He has been the catalyst for their season. I mean, he has been the difference. But
he earned his paycheck yesterday.
Howie Long hit the nail on the head with Parsons. Is that maybe you can contain him in the beginning of the game, but he wears on you. Like you got to keep on containing him, but then your offensive line gets tired. You know what I mean? By the end of the game, and that's when Parsons comes in and just wrecks your whole shit.
I think the thing I hate about the Bears Packers games coming up, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because we still got a game today. But when I look at the Bears Packers, we got 2 out of 3, 2 games in 3 weeks. The plus side on the Bears in that argument, Isaac, is we've got a lot of offensive linemen who've played really, really well this year at left tackle, especially. We've had 3 different starters. All 3 have been really good. One's gone on the IR. 2 are still there. We've got our backup right guards played really good when he's been in. So depth for the Bears at offensive line, and it's weird thing for me to say this year, has been excellent. Call it Packerish of the past, if you will. How the Packers used to be in the past with this amazing depth in the line. The Bears have been able to enjoy some of that. So those games, when we get to those, next week, we start talking about that. Those are going to be interesting matchups to see, like, how the Bears can withstand the wearing down against the Micah Parsons, and maybe, he'll still get a play in, but he won't be as effective, let's say, as he was yesterday. Right, because for the Bears, that's what you're trying to do. You're going to have to try to mitigate Micah. You're not going to rub him out, but you're going to have to mitigate, especially 2 games in 3 weeks. It's really hard to do. I don't see the Bears or the Packers sweeping. It's just really hard to do 2 games in 3 weeks with the familiarity we already have and to be that close. I hate when the NFL does that. But today, in about 3 hours, right, we've got a big game in the NFC. And really, if you think about it, it's bigger for the Bears than it is for the Eagles. But now the Eagles got to look at how Dallas is coming and going, oh, we don't have much wiggle room because
Yeah.
We don't have it. We split the tie break, and if we let the Cowboys get back in this, they can't drop a game either. So it's going to be,
Yeah, we're going to find out a lot about the Bears today. They're starting, rookie left tackle Ozzie Trapillo, so he's going to be a key to this game.
Barry, that starts Tuesday. We got other games to do this weekend. And let me go to Josh, because Josh, you obviously, I know you watch the show, and I don't hate on the Packers, and I give the Packers their fair due. But just because I don't smoke the same crack you do that says Packers are the greatest things on God's green earth, doesn't make me a hater. In fact, when you just heard me talk about the Packers, I said what they got to do is try to mitigate, and I didn't say they would mitigate. So please, Josh, stop smoking the crack, dude. It kills.
Put down the glass stick, Josh. But let me address. Let me address Fred's comment if you don't mind, because he's asking me something. So
we're short on time. Go ahead.
Fred, my point is okay, so they didn't go out and get the Lions didn't go out and get a pass rusher at the deadline. They could have gone out and got offensive linemen that you're saying they needed at the deadline as well. They could have went out and got a safety because Kirby Joseph's gone at the deadline. They could have gotten Jaden Phillips. They could have got D linemen because their D line is not that great. So Fred, you can keep doing this, but Brad Holmes is not making the moves, man. He's sitting on his ass. You look at the Cowboys, the moves they made at the deadline, the Eagles, the Packers in the offseason. They're going for it, man.
Broski, hold on. Let me defend Fred here for a minute, because you say they could be
indefensible.
No, it's not, because
indefensible.
Broski, let me talk and I'll tell you how it is. Because you say, they should have just gone out and got a guy. If there's not a guy to go get at the trade deadline that's going to fit their plans, we're just going to go sign an offensive lineman and say we sign an offensive lineman.
It's called making a deal. You work the phones, which Brad Holmes must have been doing.
Great. So, but Broski, you're making assumptions you don't know. As far as you know, they were trying to make deals. Like the Bears were trying to.
That's what I'm saying.
Deals. Well, hold on. The Bears were trying to make some deals that didn't go through because they wouldn't accept the offer. They didn't want to move on. The Bears went for a certain edge rusher in Cleveland again and were rebuked a few times. For all we know, they may come out at the end of the season. They were trying to make some deals for some offensive linemen, and teams weren't dealing.
That's what makes me envy Howie Roseman.
But it's a different thing, because the Lions are Super Bowl or bust mode.
But it's not. It doesn't matter. They could have offered first-round picks for guys, and teams said no. We're just not going to trade them. That's not the Lions' fault that they weren't able to close a deal because the other team wasn't willing to trade them.
Yeah,
that's what makes me envy Howie Roseman. He doesn't just try; he does.
Think about it. The only trades at the deadline of major significance were defensive players that left, right? Was Sauce Gardner and Q. There were no offensive linemen of any stature moved. There were a couple of wide receivers that, but that's not what the problem was in Detroit. What offensive lineman got moved that they could have even tried to get away from someone else?
That's the point. They didn't get one, so obviously one didn't move to them.
No one got one.
But we're not talking about everyone else. We're talking about the Lions and the situation they're in.
But the point is that there was no offensive lineman to get.
Yeah, there's a whole league of offensive linemen. It's called making a deal. That's my thing. So it's like
that simple, Broski. If it was that simple, we would just.
If you're in win now mode, my whole thing is this. Let's not narrow it down to this one thing. It's this offseason they didn't go all in. This trade deadline they didn't go all in. They didn't. Brad Holmes is not perfect like all Lions fans think he is. He's definitely not making the best decisions right now.
I agree with you. Before the season started, they should have done more work and maybe try to I don't know. Maybe they tried to sign Drew Dahlman and the Bears got him and they didn't. Maybe they tried to sign some guys.
They'll trade 3 third-round picks for Tesla, but he won't go get him a defensive end.
Yeah,
there's another piece, and this goes with all teams. It doesn't matter if you're the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Raiders. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we say, we really need to go out and get a cornerback. Sometimes you look at the market, and the cornerbacks on the market, none of them are much better or better at all than what you've already got. And there's nothing to get. That happens too from time to time.
I get it, Ken the Bear fan. I get it, but even level-headed Lions fans are saying Brad Holmes is not aggressive as he should.
No, I agree, and he should have been. I agree with.
You went with Davenport.
We got about less than a minute, but I agree with before the season, right? Mm-hmm. They should have done it, but at the trade deadline, if there was nothing to get, there was nothing to get. That's not on Brad Holmes. The part that's on Brad Holmes would be before the season even started.
Jalen Phillips would have been nice, but great show, guys. Let's go Bears.
Yep, we got a Bears game on here in a couple hours. Everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. A lot of great football today, a lot of great football on Sunday. We'll see you back here Monday morning. Have a happy Black Friday, everyone. Bear
Later,
down.
dudes.
Go Pack.